So children,
Children,
it's going to be an interesting lesson
definitely.
because all this time you learned only for right angle triangles. No. So this lesson is going to be for all the triangles,
Yes. Right.
right?
So children, just like Delaney teacher mentioned, right? Trig for all triangles, right? So we know now how to use sine, cos, tan for triangles which are right angle, right? But can you actually use trigonometry for other triangles? Because you know that most of the triangles we meet are not right angle triangles, my children, right? There are other triangles as well. So how can we apply them to other triangles? So that is what we are going to learn today, right? So children, there are three formulas which involve sine, cos and tan that can be used for any triangle, children, right? So now we extend this to any triangle, right? Not just triangle. So the first one is called the sine rule, right? The second one is called the cosine rule. And the third one is the formula for the area of a triangle, right? So I know that you all already know an area of triangle formula, but that's not the one we're talking about here. This is a different area of the triangle formula. All right. So you
And
all know
also,
half
Sanal
area.
teacher, yes, we'll say those are ratios what we learn. Huh? For the right angle triangle, we used ratios. That means we wrote opposite over hypotenuse. Like that, we wrote ratios. But here you are going to use the sine rule, cosine rule, and the area of triangles as formulas, right? They are coming as formulas.
That is absolutely correct, right? That is
Yes.
absolutely correct, right? So remember, children, just like Delaney said, those are ratios. These are formulas, right? So without further ado, let's go to the sine rule. So children, the sine rule, it states that the ratios of each side of a triangle to the sine of the opposite angle are equal. So now when I say it like this sounds confusing and complicated. But children, it
Yes.
is not. So even when I read it, I'm thinking, what am I saying? But it's not hard, right? So I'll show you. Now here's a triangle. Clearly, this is not a right angle triangle, children. This is just an ordinary triangle, right? So children, the sine rule basically says this. If you take a side and its opposite sine, so you can see here I have A and the opposite angle is this. So A over sine A is equal to the other side, B over sine B, which is the opposite angle, and C over sine C. Right? So basically they are saying that this ratio is the same. So if you take the length of a triangle, one side of the triangle, divided by the sine of the opposite angle, that is equal to, that is the same ratio in all three sides, is what it's saying, children. Right? So this is the sine ratio. All right. So children, take this down. So I will do an example with this next. Once I do an example, this will become even clearer. Right?
Children,
Write this
anyone
down.
who needs, yeah, more explanation because this is something new. And also when you're doing the sums, you have to know it clearly. So if there's anything, just ask from here itself. This
Yes.
little what sir thought.
Yes. And also take it down, please.
Yeah. Any doubt? This simple A, B, C are lengths, right? They are lengths of the sides. And then sine A, sine B, sine C are the angles.
Yes, so Onali Dua has asked me to explain it again, so I'll just say it one more time,
Yes.
right? So Dua, this will be even clearer once I show you an example, right? It's not that complicated. I'll show you, right? The simple letters are the side lengths, children, right? The simple letters are the side lengths. So simple A, simple B, and simple C are the side lengths. The capital letters are the opposite angles. So you can see from simple A, the opposite angle is capital A. From simple B, the opposite side angle is capital B. And from simple C, the opposite side angle is capital C. Can you see that, children? So basically what it's saying is, if you take a side length, so let's say you take A, simple A divided by sine of the opposite angle, which is sine capital A, is equal to, if you take length B divide by the sine of the opposite side, opposite angle to B, which is sine B. That's equal to C, which is the long side, divided by the sine of the opposite angle. Right, children? Is that clear? Right? So A over sine A. So in these cases, children, remember A, B, C simple are the side lengths and the capital letters are the angles. Right? That's what you must remember. So children, now I'll go to an example and show you. This will
Yeah,
become
they
a little
will.
clearer. Right?
Yes,
Once
they will
I'm finished
understand
with
very
that,
well from the.
yes. So after the example, if you all have any doubts, you can ask me. Right. Now, children, here is a triangle. Right. So you can see we have this angle, we have the length 7. Right. And from 7, the opposite angle is 75. And we have x. From x, the opposite angle is 80. Can you all see that, children? Right? 7 opposite angle 75. X opposite angle is 80. Right? So what the sine rule says is, children, this. Now I have taken, so children, although we write the sine rule as 3 different
Yes.
ratios, we only take 2 at a time when we're working with a question, right? So A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. So let's see how we can work this out. So children, I am going to take x divided by sine 80. So opposite angle is 80. So x divided by sine 80 is equal to 7 divided by sine 75, because the opposite angle to 7 is 75. So remember, children, x opposite angle is 80. 7 opposite angle is 75. So x divided by 80 is equal to 7 divided by sine 75. Right? Then, children, we have to try and make x the subject. We have to try and make x. So what do? You multiply by sine 80. You take sine 80 to the other side, like this. Right? You take it to the other side. Now, children, take your calculators, enter this and tell me what you get for x. Right? So enter it into your calculator. Okay, so Nimta Kaputa has already given me an answer. Right. What about the others? Enter it and see, children. Right?
Children, do that, because then we can see whether you all are using the calculator correctly.
Yes. Yes, Nekmi. Yes, that is correct, children, right? Your answers are all correct, right? So the answer should be in degree mode, and though always calculator should be in degree mode, you all don't use any other mode right now. Okay, always degree mode. So children, the answer is 7.14 meters. So now can you see this is not a right angle triangle, and we use the sine rule to find the length of x, right? Now if anyone still doesn't understand, tell me how to use the sine rule. Those who had doubts before, are your doubts cleared? How to use sine rule?
I think it's clear, Sadotesha,
Right.
because it's.
So children, now this was sine rule, how to using sine rule to find a side length. Let's take a look at another example where we use sine rule to find an angle, because you can use it to find angles as well. So let's have a look.
Yeah.
Now see this one. This one we know the sides. One of the angles we don't know. So again, children, you can see of 9, the opposite angle is theta, and for 10, the opposite angle is 83. Can you all see, children? So let's use sine rule again. So A over sine A equals B over sine B. So this time, children, we'll take 10 over sine 83, that is the opposite angle is 83. So 10 over sine 83 is equal to 9 over sine theta. So theta is the opposite angle to 9. So 9 over sine theta. Now, children, we have to make sine theta the subject first. So what do? We will cross multiply. You get 10 times sine theta equals to 9 times sine 83. Then, children, remember we have to make sine theta the subject, so we will divide by 10. you get sine theta equals 9 sine 83 divided by 10. Now children, you know that if you have sine theta, to find the angle, what should we do? You have to take sine inverse, right? So we take theta equals to sine inverse of this whole thing. If you want, you can first find what the value of 9 sine 83 over 10 is, and then you can find sine inverse of that as well, whatever you like, right? Children, take your calculators, work this out and tell me the angle that you all get. Very good, Netmi. Answer is correct. I want all of you to see whether you get the same answer. Right? Good, good, good. Everyone is getting this answer. Excellent, children.
And Sadhu teacher,
Yes.
we can swap the fractions and write when it comes to angles, because there's no difference in it. We can write as sine theta over 9 equals to, yes. Then children, you don't make mistakes, because there's nothing, no difference changing the denominator. And
yes. So children, so this is the answer for those of you who got it. Now children, what Dilani teacher is saying here is the sine rule, you can also take it as sine A over A equals to sine B over B. So children, this is, if this you find this easier, you can use it this method, no problem.
Yeah.
Right? So they are all the same.
Yeah, and then the unknown angle, you can have it as sine theta, sine A, and then the values, and just it's only a few steps you have to follow.
Yeah. Children, any uncertainties? Any questions? If it's clear, tell me it's clear. If it's not, tell me to explain again. I will show you. Right, Sandy says it's clear. Okay. Yes, I will be sending the presentation in the group later. Yes, okay, so I have 2 children who want me to explain it again, so I will explain it again, right? So children, what I had was, I had the side lengths 10 and 9 I knew, right? I knew the angle 83, but I didn't know the angle theta. Okay, so what you can do is, now our formula is A over sine A equals B over sine B, right? So children, I will take 10 over sine 83 equals to 9 over sine theta. 10 over sine 83 equals to 9 over sine theta. Then the rest is algebra, children. I work it out and I make sine theta the subject. Right? So you can use the formula that I have given, or the formula that Dilani teacher said. They're both the same, children. You will get the same answer.
Same, yes.
Right? So at the end, somehow, either way, you will end up with this step. You will come to this point. Right? Once you get to this point, children, you know that if you have sine theta equals something, to find theta, you have to take sine inverse of the something. Right? Sine theta equals something. To find theta, you take sine inverse of the something. Right? So to get theta, we take sine inverse of this part here. Right? So if you type this in your calculator, sine inverse 9 sine 83 over 10, if you work that, you will get 63.3 degrees as your answer. Is it clear, children? So the 2 children who asked me to explain it again, is that clear now? Right. So
and children, at the same time, Sadhu teacher will ask them to use the calculator and see whether they are getting that value.
Yes.
Because some, they are making mistakes using the calculator.
Right. Yes, that is correct. So children, definitely do this and see. I have a good question from Netmi Dua. She's asking, how do you know which side is A, B and C? It's a good question, Dua.
Oh.
Right? So Dua, the answer is, it doesn't matter. Just take the side divided by the opposite side, sign of the opposite side. That's it. It doesn't, you don't have to decide this is going to be A, this is going to be A, this is C. Doesn't matter.
It's
right?
just the explanation we are taking A, B,
Yes.
and simple A,
Yeah.
B, right?
So
So when you look at the diagram, you can decide from the angle where the opposite side will come as the set, the ratio set.
yeah.
Angle and the opposite side. Angle and the opposite side. What you can see from that place, from the angle.
So let me just imagine that I swapped it and took it the other way. Say I took 9, now I took 10 over sine 83 equals 9 over sine theta. Say I took 9 over sine theta equals 10 over sine 83. I'll still get the same answer, no? Right? If I work
Yeah.
it out, I still make sine theta the subject, right? So it doesn't matter. Okay? Right. Yes, you're welcome. All right. So now children, let's go on to the next bit. Now this bit you have to really pay attention, right? This is called the ambiguity of the sine rule. Now this is sine rule, children. What I showed you now is the sine rule. But sometimes the sine rule can be tricky. So that is what I'm going to show you now, right? Children, look at this diagram. In this diagram, you will see two triangles, right? The first triangle is DEF. Okay, so DEF is this one. DEF. Can you see DEF, children? The smaller one. And there's another triangle DEG. So DEG is this one. Can you see? I want you to focus on both these triangles, right? Now children, if you take DEF, it has this angle beta. This symbol is beta, children. Okay. And if you take DEG, it has this angle alpha, right? We are going to try and use sine rule to work out, right? Let's try to solve for these two angles DFE and DGE. So basically I'm trying to find alpha and beta, children, right? That's what I'm trying to do. So let's do that. Okay. So children, first let's try to find alpha. So you can see we're going to take sine rule with the big triangle, right? So let's take sine rule with this big triangle. So you can see I have 4 divided by sine 20, because from 4 the opposite angle is 20. 4 divided by sine 20 equals to 10 divided by sine alpha. Okay, 10 divided by sine alpha. Then children, if you take the smaller triangle to find beta, so again you have 4 divided by sine 20, right, equals to 10 divided by sine beta, right? Opposite over the side length over opposite angle. Now children, if you look closely at these two equations that we got, look at these two. Can you see they're the same? The only difference is alpha and beta. Can you see, children? 4 over sine 20 on the left, and on the right you have 10 over, for one question you have sine A alpha, the other one you have sine beta. Now that's a problem, children, because you get the same equation, but if you look at the diagram, children, you can clearly see that alpha and beta are different, right? Yes, okay. So Vishal is saying, sir, without using DGF, we can use EFG. Yes, Puta, that's a different story, right? But I'm trying to show you the ambiguity of the sine rule, right? So it's a good workaround that you found, right? But let's stick to this. Let's see what we get. Okay, right. So now, children, as I was saying, right? So clearly alpha and beta are different, but you get the same equation. So children, now if we solve this, right, let's assume we solve it. Now you all know how to solve it, so I'm not going to go into the details, right? If you solve this equation, children, you get 58.77 degrees, right? Children, now if you look at these two angles, alpha is an acute angle, right? And beta is an obtuse angle. So this 58.77 degrees, children, is the acute angle alpha, right? So how do we get beta then? So children, to get beta, you simply subtract this 58.77 from 180, right? To find the other angle, subtract this one from 180. When you do that, you get 121.23, and this is an obtuse angle. This is going to be beta, right? Children, remember, this happens sometimes, not always, quite rarely. It happens with the sine rule, right? Sometimes from the sine rule, you will get an acute angle, but the question will not want the acute angle. The question will ask, either the question will clearly ask, what is the obtuse angle theta? Or the diagram will be drawn in such a way that you have to find an obtuse angle. In that case, children, when you take sine inverse, you will get an acute angle always. But what you should do is take 180 minus that angle and you will get the obtuse angle that you're looking for. I'll repeat that one more time, right? Sometimes, children, the question will ask you to find the obtuse angle, or it will show you, the diagram will show you clearly that the angle is obtuse. So in that case, when you take sine inverse, you will get an acute angle. To get the obtuse angle, you subtract that value from 180. Then you get the answer that you're looking for. Is this clear, children? Children, let me know whether you understood. Okay. What about the others? Okay, so Nimtak is asking for another example. So, Nimtak, another example would
This
basically...
is not an example.
Yes.
Children, this is not an example. Actually, sir, explain what is happening. So the basic what you have to know is, if you get your normal way, you're finding the acute angle. But if they ask for the obtuse, subtract from 180. That's the basic.
Yes. Yes, children, so this is, I mean, I took a question here, I took an example, not to work it out, but just to show you what's happening, right? Because children, this length here can be like this, or it can be like this. Either way, it's 4 centimeters, right? So the 4 centimeter length can be two ways. If it's like this, then the angle will be alpha. If it's the other way, the angle will be beta.
Beta.
Right?
Yes.
So if you're looking for an acute angle, you just find the first answer, no problem. That's your answer. But if you're looking for the obtuse angle, right? Imagine that this one is the triangle given to you. Then you're looking for the obtuse angle. So you work it out, you will get 58.77, but you know you're looking for a larger angle, an obtuse angle. What do? You subtract from 180. And that will give you the answer. That's it, children, right? So you use the usual sine rule, same thing we learned earlier. You use it, get the answer, and subtract from 180. That's it, children. Okay? Right? So, children, I have included a question like this for your homework as well, right? So don't worry about it too much, right? You can try that question and then we'll discuss it next week anyway, right? So try that and see, I think. Am I right, Dilan teacher?
Yeah, it's not hard, just a simple thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So children, that is the sine rule. So out of the three formulas, we learned one. Let's go to the next one. Children, this is the cosine rule. Okay, so this is a new one, right? So children, the cosine rule relates one angle and three sides of any triangle, right? So in any triangle, the cos rule, it relates all three lengths and one of the angles. Okay, it can be used to find the third side of a triangle when two sides and the angle included between the two sides is given, right? If you're given a triangle with two sides and the angle in the middle, you can find the cosine rule to find the other side length. Or if you know all three sides of a triangle, this can be used to find any of the angles you want, right? It can be used like that as well, right? So this is the cosine rule, children. So let's take the same triangle we took before. The cosine rule is a squared equals to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. So you can see the first part looks like Pythagoras theorem, children, right? The a squared equals b squared plus c squared, but there's another part minus 2bc cos a. So children, take this down quickly and we'll go to an example.
So children, you can see when cos A, that means only one angle is there. Where sine rule, you have two angles to take. So you must know, looking at the triangle, which rule you're going to use. If they have mentioned only one angle or to find one angle, you have to use the cosine rule, right? So Sandhu teacher, can we write for the other sides as well? If you have to
yes.
find b squared, then we can write b squared equals to a squared plus c squared. Cos b is very good.
Yeah. So children,
Children, yes, tell Sandhu.
yeah. So usually children, it's enough if you remember one, so you can, get the other two from this equation, right? But basically
No,
what we're trying to
actually, I mentioned that is because then they will get to know what is going to be like we have to consider. If it's b squared, then a and c is coming. The other two sides are coming.
Yeah.
And then the cos b is the b squared, what you have defined. So when you write like that, children, you will understand what it is, but you only have to know the pattern, the what Sandhu teacher has given at the beginning.
Yes. Okay. So children, now let's look at an example. Then this will be even clearer, right? Okay. So here's a triangle. So children, we know two sides and the included angle in the middle. Can you see? We have 3 centimeter, 2 centimeter, and 102-degree angle. X is the opposite angle which we need, the opposite length which we need to find. So what do we use? We use this formula: a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. So children, now we take a as x. B and C are going to be 3 and 2, right? Because children, the side that we're trying to find is going to be A in this case, right? So children, let's substitute the values. So A squared is x squared, B squared plus C squared is 3 squared plus 2 squared minus 2BC. That's going to be 2 times 3 times 2 cos A. So A is the opposite angle to X, or the angle in between the 3 and the 2, that is going to be cos of 102. Okay, children? Now let's simplify this around a little bit, right? So children, 3 squared plus 2 squared. So 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4, 3 plus 9 is, 9 plus 4 is 13, right? Then 2 times 3 plus 2 times 2 is 12. So minus 12 cos 102. Now children, this is equal to x squared. So remember, I need to find the value of x. So I'll take the square root of this whole thing, right? Now children, I want you all to enter this into your calculator and tell me the value you get, right? Children, remember, it should all be under a square root, okay? So enter it and tell me what you get, right? So children, it should look like this, right? Can you see there's a big square root symbol? Yes, Ovini's answer is correct. Yes, and though your answer is not correct, could you recheck whether you've typed it properly? Though it should look like this, right? This is what it,
Sandhu teacher,
yes.
yeah, some calculators you can't put that long square root because you have to put within brackets. That must be the reason. So
Yes.
children, when you put the square root, some calculators, you have to put the square root and then open a bracket and then put 13 minus 12 cos 102 and close the bracket.
And close the bracket. Yes. Yes. So Anne says her calculator is different. So what you have to do is, so your calculator display, it will look like this. Okay. It'll take a square root and then it'll open a bracket. So then you enter this, right? Cos 102, right? And then close the bracket.
Yes.
Right? Then you will get the answer. Right?
Within brackets.
Yes. So try that and see, Dua. Okay, and tell me whether you get the answer. So children, all of you got the right answer. The answer is 3.94 centimeters. So children, this is how you use cosine rule to find the side length. Is this clear, children? Any questions?
And do you got the answer?
Yes, so she got it. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So do keep that in mind because you have to, everyone has to be ready for their calculator, right? Okay. Now let's use cosine rule, right? Okay, so thoroughly Dua wants me to explain it again. So Dua, I'll go through it quickly, right? So her power went. Okay. So Dua, we learned cosine rule, right? So cosine rule is the rule that I have written on top. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. All right. And here I'm trying to use it to find this unknown side length x. So though we can use cosine rule if two lengths are given and the angle in between the two lengths is given, right? So in this case, a will be x. Okay, so x squared equals to, and 3 and 2 will be b and c. Right, so I substitute 3 squared plus 2 squared minus 2 times for BC, I put 3 and 2 cos 102 because the angle is 102, right? So then I simplified 3 squared plus 2 squared is 13, then 2 times 3 times 2 is 12, right? And that is all equal to x squared. So now I want to get x, so I take the square root of the entire thing, right? And once, so I asked the kids to put it in the calculator and check. You can check it yourself as well, right? So the square root of 13 minus 12 cos 102, that would get you the answer for x, which comes out to be 3.94 centimeters, right? So I hope that's clear, right? I'm going to do another example, but this time we're trying to find an angle. Okay, right? So thoroughly do let me know quickly, right? Okay, so she says it's clear. Perfect. All right. So children, now let's look at this one. Can you see? I know all three side lengths, but this time I don't know theta. I don't know the angle. So then children, again, I'm going to use this rule. I am going to take A as 8. Always children, if you're looking for an unknown angle, A should be the opposite length. A should be the opposite length. So A is going to be 8. So I take 8 squared equals to the other two sides, 13 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 13 times 12 cos theta, right? So B and C are 12 and 13 children. Okay. Then when I simplify, so you all have your calculators, so you all can check with me if you like. So you know that 8 squared is 64, 13 squared is 313. Right, sorry, 13 squared plus 12 squared is 313, right? Then children, 2 times 13 plus times 12 is 312, right? Now children, remember I'm looking for cos theta. So I will rearrange this equation, take 312 cos 13 to the other side, and I will bring 64 to this side, right? Then you can subtract 64 from 313, that gives us 249, and I will divide 312 to make cos theta the subject. So this is all algebra children, right? So I'm going through this fast because you all already know how to do this, right? So now children, you all know what the other step is. To get theta, you have to take cos inverse. So children, all of you take this and tell me theta is equal to cos inverse 249 over 312. Tell me the angle you get to one decimal place. Yes, Nitmi, that is correct, right? The answer is 37.1 degrees, right? Correct. Very good, right? The answer is theta is 37.1. So children, this is how you use the cosine rule to find an angle, right? If you know all three sides. Always make sure. Now, to Netmidua's question earlier about which side should be A, in this case, this is important. In this case, for sine rule, it's not important, but for cos rule, right? A should always be the length that is opposite to the angle you're trying to find, right? So in this case, it's important. Okay. Any questions, children? So this is the end of the cos rule, right? Any questions from this? Okay. What about the others? Right. All right. All right. Good. Okay. So children, now let's go to the final one, the area of a triangle. Now children, you all already know how to find the area of a triangle, but this is a new formula, right? The area of a triangle is equal to half the product of two sides and the sine of the included angle. So again, it sounds complicated when I say it like this in words. So we'll have a look at it. For some reason, maths is always like that. Even simple equations, if you word it, it sounds very complicated, right? But let's see. Now, children, again, I have taken the same triangle, but this time I have marked angle C. Okay. Children, the area is simply half times A times B times sine C. So basically, children, if you have a triangle, if you know two sides and the angle in between, that's what you need. Half into the two lengths multiplied by the sine of the angle in the middle. That's it. Take it down, children, quickly. Write down this formula. So this formula can be used for any triangle, children, right? If you know two lengths of a triangle and the angle in between, then you can use this formula to find the area of the triangle, right? Half AB sine C. Take it down. And we'll also go and have a look at an example as well, right? So I hope you took it down, right? Should be enough time, right? So children, now can you see here's a triangle, and in this triangle we know two lengths and the angle in between. So the lengths, so this is a massive triangle, right? The lengths are in kilometers, so 3.4 kilometers and 1.8 kilometers, and you have 119 degree angle in the middle. Let's use the area formula. So area is half AB sine C. So children, half A is 3.4, B is 1.8 times sine of 119. Children, enter this into your calculators and give me the area quickly. Yes, Nimtaka. And Rebecca also sent me the answer. Correct. Good. So children, your answers are correct, right? So to two decimal places, if you round it off, let me your rounding off isn't correct. Check again, right? If you round it off properly, you get 2.68 square kilometers, right? Yes. So Sandalidu has rounded to one decimal place. That is correct, right? So that is the area. So children, these are very easy formula to use. So there's not much to explain with this one. But there was also something else, right? So children, I hope this is clear and everyone got it, right? So that is how you find the area of any triangle, right? So Delaney teacher actually insisted on including this as well, because you all need to, so this is something I think all of you already know, right? But on the topic of trigonometry, it's good to talk about Pythagoras theorem as well to be complete, right? So you all already know this, children. Pythagoras theorem states that the sum of the two shorter sides of a right angle, wait, this is wrong. It should be the square, right? The sum, not sum of the square of the sum of the two shorter sides, right? So ignore that, children. But anyway, you all know the formula. It should be a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? Yes. So Delaney teacher, we have a question from Anne Dua. She asks, sometimes the questions don't say to round to whatever number of decimal places. Do we have to round it even if it doesn't mention? She's asking.
No, normally in the paper, the papers, I don't know what syllabus she's doing. If it's the Excel, they say three significant figures. Always keep the answer for three significant figures. Cambridge, they specify three significant figures or decimal places, they specify. If it's not, you can keep it for one decimal place.
So she does Cambridge apparently.
Cambridge papers, they do specify.
So then maybe, just have a look and see if they have mentioned. I think they should mention, right?
They mention. Add either significant figures or decimal places they mention.
Yeah. Okay. So children, I also have a couple of examples from Pythagoras theorem, right? So in this case, children, you all can see the hypotenuse is the one that we don't know, right? X. So this is going to be 5 squared plus 9 squared equals x squared, right? So 5 squared plus 9 squared gives us 106. You take the square root, right, and gives us 10.30 centimeters as the side length. And I've done another example. So this time we know the hypotenuse. We don't know one of the other sides. This is y, right? So y squared plus 1.1 squared is equal to 1.5 squared. So then you subtract the 1.1 squared and you can take the square roots of this, and you get y equals to 1.02 meters. All right. So children, this is the end of the lesson. Right now, before I give you any questions, if you all have any questions, any doubts, you all can ask me now. Any questions from anyone? Okay, Anne says no doubts. What about the others? Senil is all clear. All right, very good.
So we can start giving them the questions. No?
Okay. So children, now Dylan teacher and I have discussed and we have come up with a new format to give you questions. So hereafter we won't be sending you a paper, right? I'm going to share a question on the screen, going to give you some time to do the question and then we'll discuss it together and go to the next question. So I think you all will also like this better, right? So this is the first question, children.
Yeah,
Right?
children, even if you make a mistake in the first question, then the second one is clear for you. You can do without any mistake, right? So that's why we discussed, Sadhu teacher and myself, we discussed and came up a decision like this. So
Yeah.
we will give you 2-3 minutes only because you all are using the calculator.
Yeah. So children, get the answer and send it to me privately. Okay, not on the chat for everyone to see. Otherwise, the others are still doing the question, right? Do the question, and as soon as you get the answer, send me a private message, and after a few minutes, we'll discuss it.
Yeah, and the Cambridge students, don't worry, these type of questions won't come for the non-calculator paper.
Yeah. So children, you all can do these questions now, okay? Rebecca Dua, it says to one decimal place, read the question. I already have a few answers, denied teacher.
Ah.
Hmm.
So then
Children, what about the others?
I think it's enough, no, Sadhu teacher?
Okay. Right.
Because
So children, this is a area question, right? So you all know the area formula we just learned is half AB sine C, right? So half times 5 times 6 times sine of 21 degrees, right? So when you work that out, you will get to, if the question asks to one decimal place, so to one decimal place, the answer is 5.4 square meters. Don't forget the unit, children. Right? Okay, so the children who got, so I have got some different answers, one different answer. So Dua, is it clear how to do the question? Right? I hope there are no questions from this one.
anyone who got a different answer? Yeah, different answer.
Yes. She says she mixed it up. So I hope this is clear. Yes, it's clear now, it seems. Right. Okay. So children, now we'll go to the next question. Right? All right. So you all know what to do. Right? And read the question. So correct to one decimal place. I want the answer, right?
Now enough, Sadhu teacher. We'll explain.
When Dilari teacher says enough, I will explain. All right. Okay. So now, children.
So actually, Sadhu teacher, they are using the calculator, right?
That's true. That's true. Yes. So A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. Children, we have to use the sine rule for this one, right? So we'll take X over sine 52, right, is equal to 10 over sine 84, right? Then you multiply by sine 52, so 10 over sine 84 degrees times sine 52 degrees, right? You get x equals to, so you can put this into your calculator, children, straight away. The answer comes to 7.9 centimeters to 1 decimal place. So I have a couple of answers which are different. Children, is this clear? Those who gave me different answers, I got different answers from 2 children. Right, this is the way to do it, and if you put this in your calculator, you should get you get 7.9 something. When you round it off, you get 7.9, right? Yes, I can explain it again, of course. So we are using sine rule, Puta, right? So sine rule is a over sine a equals to b over sine b. So in this case, I have x over sine 52 equals to 10 over sine 84. Right, so you can see I've written that x over sine 52 equals to 10 over sine 84. I want to make x the subject because I'm looking for x, right? So I want to get rid of this sine 52. I take it to the other side by multiplying by sine 52. So then I get x equals to 10 over sine 84 degrees multiplied by sine 52. Next step, you just put this whole thing into your calculator and you press enter and you get 7.9 as your answer. Is that clear, Buddha?
Yes, Sanu, teacher. We'll
Yes,
go to
we
the
will go to the next question. I'm not getting a reply from him. All right. So, children, this is the next question. Again, children, to 1 decimal place.
So they have answered not
Yeah,
correctly. I'm asking you have got answers.
I've got 4 answers, but only one though has got it correct.
So shall we do it, Sanu,
Yeah,
teacher?
let's do it. So, children, this one again we have to use sine rule, right? So this time I'll use the formula that Delaney teacher showed us, right? Just to show you that it is also the same, right? So here we get sine A over A equals to sine B over B. So children, this is the same. So if you already did the other way, that's okay, right? I just want to show you that this can be done this way as well, right? So sine A, I'll take it as sine theta over the opposite side is 6, right? Sine B is sine 80, the opposite side is 13, right? So once I multiply by 6 to make sine theta the subject, I get 6 sine 80 degrees divided by 13. Okay, children. Yes, so now I got another correct answer, but Onalidu, just check your rounding. It's to 1 decimal place. We want the answer, right? Okay, so then children, what do? You take sine inverse of this entire thing, sine 80 divided by 13. Enter this in your calendar and tell me what you get. I'll also try. 6 sine 80 over 13. So you get 27.03 something, right? So children, they're asking for 1 decimal place. So the answer should be 27.0 degrees to 1 decimal place. That is the answer. Okay. So Senulido also sent me the right answer, but Dua, you have sent it to 2 decimal places, right? The question asks for 1 decimal place. Right.
Yes, Sanu, teacher, that is very, very important. When they specify to 1 dp or some sort of the values, you have to like keep the answer like that. If not, they are not giving the marks. They have
Yes.
mentioned in the marking scheme not to give.
Yes. Because children, they expect you to follow the instructions. That's the
instructions and read well.
Yes. Right.
So children, after doing all these things, right, losing a mark is in vain. So please try to read the question and try to give the answer accurately.
Yeah. Delaney, shall we do one more question? It's 5 o'clock now. Children, shall we do one more question with the cost rule and then we'll finish? right? Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do one more, children, and then I'll let you all go, right? Okay, right. Try this question quickly, children. We'll discuss this and end the class. Yeah, teacher, shall we do it?
Yeah, I think it's better.
Okay. So, children, now I got some interesting answers. I will discuss your answers as well as we go. Right, children, so this is a cosine rule question. I think all of you know that by now, right? From your answers, I can tell you've done that correctly, right? So I'll write the cos rule: a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. So a is going to be x. So x squared equals to 25 squared plus 23 squared minus 2 times 25 times 23 times cos 18 degrees. Okay, children? Then x squared equal, this is 1154 minus 1150 cos 18, right? Now, children, you take the square root of this, right? 1154 minus 1150 cos 18. Children, tell me what you all get. Tell me the answer you all get when you put this into the calculator. What do you get? 7.7643. I'll just take a few extra decimal places, children, right? Okay. Now you all get this now. Now here's where you all went wrong, right? No, let me. That's the thing. All of you made this mistake. Read the question properly. The distances are given in meters, right? The distances are given in meters, okay? But can you see, children, they're asking us to find it to the nearest centimeter, right? So this is 7.7643 in meters. In centimeters, what do you have to do, children? You have to multiply by 100, right? So you get 776.43 centimeters. To the nearest centimeter, the answer is 776 centimeters. Right? So that you all got the right answer. But what most of you did was you took 7.7 and you rounded it. You thought that was in centimeters and you rounded it to 8. Right? Can you see, children? Right? So they want the answer to centimeters, but the lengths are given in meters. So you find your answer in meters, convert to centimeters, then round it off to the nearest centimeter. Right? So I hope you all learned a lesson with this one. Read the question carefully. Right? Read
Yeah, at the same time, Sanam teacher, if it comes as 6, 5 or
Yeah.
more than 5, it has to be rounded and kept it as 7.
Yeah. 6. Yes, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is right. Yes. So children, 6, the 0.4, you don't round it up. But if you had 6.5 or 6.6 or something, then it becomes 777. Right?